was your first reaction when the credits hit?
I'm still numb, still figuring it out. It's a whole process for us. It isn't like just watching a film and asking, where did you like it? Did you not? It's just a whole mental process. Its significance is much more than just a film for us. It's like a time in our lives, a time spent with each other. So, I need to watch it again because I'm still processing, for sure. I am.
Do you have a favorite moment, favorite scene from the 9 films? And maybe it's something that helped inform your performance of it.
No, but I do. There's a moment that always makes me laugh when Obi-Wan is fighting Anakin. And Obi-Wan tells Anakin the reason why he's won basically is essentially because he's got the higher ground. That moment, I'm always like, why are you telling him that for? Like, keep that to yourself, bro, and just get the work in, yeah? But that's a funny moment I always like. I love that duel. That duel is sick. I mean, sometimes they're just doing it. They're just swinging for no reason, as in you can just tell they're just doing skills, but that stuff looked cool.
It's an instinct. A feeling. The Force brought us together.
Do you have a new appreciation of fans and fandom having been a part of this series? And if so, what's your favorite sort of experience?
Not a new appreciation. I'm part of the fandom before signing on to the films, watching the animated shows and playing a video game. So I understand that. I just didn't know they shipped. Like, I didn't know these guys were like against each other. I thought it was like a whole loving community of different types of ships. No, don't try to put the Raylos against anyone else. There's a whole war going on, which I'm not involved in. Love you all. So it's been nice to that's been the new side to the fandom where I've been like, oh, it's like an actual tribe. There's some tribal stuff going on.
We're not alone. Good people will fight if we lead them.
People keep telling me they know me. No one does.
Tell me your first reactions when the credits hit.
I just astounded at JJ's talent. That's the first thing that I felt. The fact that he stuck the landing and in such a spectacular way. That was my first feeling.
Yeah, the credits, well, I love the ending of it. And I was just overwhelmed, and I just went and gave JJ the biggest hug. Because I know he felt so much pressure he just felt so respectful of the people who love this, and he's a fan of it. But it's just so good, and it totally delivers.
What was the moment where you paused and you looked around you and you said, holy crap, I'm in a Star Wars movie?
There was a moment when I saw a large number of stormtroopers walking, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in Star Wars. Yes!
We're looking back at the saga, 9 films. This is the finale. Do either of you have a favorite Star Wars moment from the films? And maybe it's a moment that helped inform your performances in some way.
For me, just the thing that I always think about are those early cantina scenes with the crazy music and the aliens. And there was a moment where I felt that a little bit, that one thing, and so, that's one of the coolest things about Star Wars. They don't make movies like this anymore. It feels like one of those old John Huston movies where you move to this far-off place for 2 years and they spend all this time doing costume fittings and designing things and the artistry. That's what Star Wars still is, and they don't make those movies anymore. And those cantina scenes, just the world that you're transported into.
I think that's why they've had a particular way of igniting people's imaginations and making you feel like there is so much on the outer edges of the frame that's happening. There's all these worlds that are hinted. And I think that's also why maybe the people want the information because they've imagined so many possibilities.
Yeah, it is
which
still
is
sort
very
of
unique.
elusive,
I can't think of any other thing that causes that one little item makes someone think of what world did that come from and who are those? Who are the parents? Who cares who the parents of characters are usually?
I know.
But you're everyone wants to know whose parents are who. It's kind of an amazing.
And how it all fits into the puzzle of this giant myth. Yeah.
eyes.